good.
Yep.
Charlie, what did this kind of day mean to you, if anything, as a player, when the fixtures come out? Do you kind of look to see where the big games are?
Always look to see where the first game was. Usually the first, when I was at Celtic, the first league game, and then the first game against Rangers is the one I always kind of look towards. So, it's exciting times, and actually first time since I probably retired where I'm looking, thinking, I wish I was involved.
Oh really? You kind of hampering to kind of get back at it, are you?
No, in a playing wise, I don't know if anybody needs a 39-year-old guy that can't run anymore. But no, I'm talking about in a playing capacity. I kind of look at it. Drop my son at training. He's playing football just now, so I drop him. He's at Celtic, and you look at the fixtures coming out. You look at people starting back pre-season online and social media, and you think probably the first time I think I'd love to be back, but that's what it is.
What about, I mean, obviously you've got a few old clubs, haven't you? From a Celtic point of view.
You're laughing at it?
I know, it was very cheeky.
There's a snigger there.
From a Celtic point of view, I guess in your eyes, did they start the season as favourites again? That they're the platform they built for themselves is very impressive, isn't it?
100%. They'll be straight on it again. Straight away for day one. I'm sure Brendan Rodgers will be looking at signings and looking first and foremost to get the players in the building to stay and push on next year. I think that cup final will leave a kind of bitter taste in their mouth, and they'll be thinking when they get back at it, and it's a disappointing end to the season. Although it was a great season when you look back, it's hard to kind of criticise when you look at how good the Champions League campaign was, the league campaign. Trebles have become such a regular thing, kind of thanks to Brendan Rodgers and the way Celtic have been recently. But also there'll be one eye on Rangers' new manager and what he's going to bring, because they'll know he's a good manager and good ideas in the game, and he'll be looking to get Rangers kind of back on track.
Charlie, what have Celtic got to do in the transfer market to improve?
It's in all areas. I think you bringing Kieran Tierney is massive. I think another centre back's been mentioned. But we could sit here and say I think another centre-back's probably one of the main things we'll be looking at, one of the main areas we'll be looking at. But then Scales and Trusty can come back and have a great pre-season and kick on. And it's happened to myself in the past where you go away in the summer and it's not been maybe the season that you wanted, and you come back and you can become that main player. So you just never know. I think Brendan will assess the squad and see what's due there. You'd imagine a winger or two will come in. But I think that's an important thing. You always, even when you're strong, if you're a position of strength, you need to continue to improve, and I'm sure that it'll be open to all positions to keep everybody on their toes.
You were talking there about the cup final, obviously final game of the season, losing that, a bit of taste in the mouth. Can almost be used as a positive going into this campaign, that not everything can be taken for granted. They're not going to win every single trophy, and it's almost not a kick on the backside. You know what I mean?
I think it'll be mentioned early in pre-season. I would guess by the manager. Through my experience, I would say that's something a manager would do. Would just say, right, look, like if you're not on it and you're not at it every single game, regardless of ability and tactics and everything, if you don't turn up with the right attitude and you don't approach it properly, then that can happen to you. The big thing for me in the cup final was when the goal went in, Celtic scored at the start. The celebrations were a bit muted, and it was crazy because it was a cup final. But I think that just shows that how regular a trebles became, and maybe that kind of boot up the backside, something that can help Celtic.
Will they be looking over their shoulders, do you think, at Rangers with what's going on in the background?
I think you always do. I think you try and focus on yourself, but there's no doubt about it. One eye's on, especially the fact they've got a new manager, so you don't know what he's going to bring. You don't know, although they'll have an idea at his last teams and what they've done, but you don't know what kind of reaction he'll get for the players. You imagine the players will be on board because he's new and he's at the start, and he's obviously a good pedigree, so that'll be interesting.
Will you be looking to get back into management with the time you spent about at Celtic March at all?
Nah, it's nowhere near my thinking. Nah, I miss playing. I don't miss that kind of side to it, but I'm quite happy at the moment. I'm quite relaxed in what I'm doing, so I'll just wait and see if something comes up. If it suits me, if it doesn't, then it doesn't.
When you were at Celtic, Charlie, obviously you were there at a real strong point the club.
Yeah.
In these sort of months in between, weeks in between in pre-season, what was the chat between the players? Do you look to Rangers or do you look to others and see what they're doing, or is it solely what you can do in these sort of weeks? As you mentioned, new managers, investment, players coming in. Is that something players are likely to chat about at this point?
No, at this point in the season, you're chatting about what night out you're getting at pre-season. I don't remember chatting too much about anything other than that. Where we're going pre-season, are we getting a night out? I don't remember. You obviously you see wee bits, but I don't imagine you sitting off discussions about Rangers are signing and what they're doing. I think deep down inside you know, right, okay, they could be more of a threat this year and they could be a challenge. But you don't get too bogged up. You need to focus on yourself. You can't take your eye off the ball in terms of get as fit as you can, get up to speed as quick as you can, impress the manager quickly, because you know that if you don't do that, that's the one guy that can change things and move things forward if you're not on it. So I think even the likes of Callum McGregor will be, if you would imagine the first name in the team sheet, he'll be absolutely at it and ready to push on this season, especially after the cup final.
Well done, United. They obviously found out their European opponents as well.
Yeah.
An exciting time for them, isn't it? Especially with a nice wee trip to Luxembourg. Jim will want to kick on this season, I imagine.
It's brilliant. It's a great achievement after getting promoted last year. So they'll be delighted to be in Europe, albeit it makes things a wee bit more difficult in the league. I've experienced that first hand, having beat AZ Alkmaar 1-0 and thinking it's going to be a good season potentially, and well, we all know what happened there. So listen, it's a difficult job. I think that Jim done brilliant last year, and I think that this year United need to be strong and understand that last year was an overachievement, and you'll need to bring in new signings and give themselves time to bed in. I think the most important thing for United is having that time in Europe and making sure that things are right in the league and the cups, and I'm sure that the board will be patient with Jim and allow him time to get that right, because he deserves that time. He's done a great job there.
Charlie, just on Aberdeen then, you're talking about balancing Europe. Do you think Aberdeen can become one of the first teams, obviously outside the Glasgow's big two, to successfully balance that? We know that they're going to be and have European football all the way up until Christmas. Do you think they can balance it?
It's hard. I would like to think they can. The managers rotated the squad quite a bit this year without there being much Europe. So I think they can. It's hard to say. I mean, they need to get the signings right. They need to. It's more the psychological side of things. So if you go away and play in Europe and then you're coming back and you then need to perform in the league, having had a European game, it's difficult and challenging mentally. Yeah, there's no reason why they can't. It's difficult though, and it's not many teams have done it in the past few years, so it'll be interesting to see.
And from a Celtic point of view, is it almost more important to hold on to some of the players that got the likes of Nicholas Cook, the likes of Maida, who was sensational last season? Obviously you want to add to the squad too, but how vital is it to kind of keep those players that have been so successful last season?
I'm sure that they want to keep Carter Vickers. I've seen him linked somewhere, so I'm sure that he's a huge player. Nicholas Cook, I don't know so much. I think he had a great campaign at the start of the year and kind of tailed off a wee bit. I think my opinion is Celtic could probably replace him with another winger. But who knows? I mean, that's up for the manager. That's why the manager, because he'll decide who he wants to keep and who's more value to let go and maybe bring somebody else in.
Speaking of the manager, he's going into his final season contract-wise. Are you surprised that there hasn't been more kind of talk and more kind of desire, I suppose, if you like, for him to sign on for longer?
Not really, no, because I mean, we'll see what happens this year, and hopefully, I think there's a lot of eagerness when somebody's coming into their last year of contract to kind of push on and give another year. I think you should maybe just honour the contract and see where that takes the club and where everybody sits in 6 months' time, and then everybody can decide then.
Good man.
Thank you.
Cheers.